You know the person that you were meeting was 13?
Yes, sir. You ask her if she's horny.
What's wrong with that?
He wants to engage in sex acts repeatedly.
And he thinks you're a 14-year-old boy.
You drove an hour and a half to meet a 13-year-old female in the middle of the night.
He had improperly touched her. What if he does this to some other child?
You are a sexual predator.
Sheriff's office!
They drive up to our door, then they're dragged into court. Can online predators be taken off the streets? Tonight, in To Catch a Predator. Welcome to the latest in Dateline's month-long series of undercover investigations, Children at Risk from Grown Men Online. Good evening, I'm Stone Phillips.
And I'm Ann Curry. Once again tonight, we bring home the frightening reality that predators scouring internet chat rooms can be anywhere. This week, we're back in small-town America.
And later you'll see one of the most disturbing cases we've ever found. An admitted child abuser on his way to prison comes knocking on our door. As always, we want to warn you, some of what you're about to watch is explicit. Here's Chris Hansen.
I can't say what I would do when I'm drunk.
It's been a busy 3 days here in Darke County, Ohio.
Are you still a virgin?
Stupid question for an older man to ask a girl like that.
This house, equipped with hidden cameras inside and out, has become the destination for men hoping to hook up with young teens they met online.
I met her in, the Ohio 36 room, MySpace.
And from their internet chat, it's clear most of the men are here for one thing: sex.
You know if you had me naked, I'd want more, right?
Man, you don't have to read it.
But as soon as they see me, they know there's been a change of plans. Their stories change as well.
I didn't come here for anything.
I didn't know if I'd really be able to go through with it.
I was just going to watch movies.
In our fourth investigation into online sex predators, we've come to the heartland. Greenville, Ohio, a farm community, population 13,000.
Okay.
Mike Burns is a local detective.
Do you think most folks who live here think that this area would be immune to this sort of activity?
Without a doubt. Yeah, it wouldn't happen here.
But as we showed you last week, we find here in rural America what we found in every other location: men lining up at our door, ready to keep their date for sex with a minor. And if you haven't seen this before, this is what usually happens. This 30-year-old, screen name Meat Rocket 8, starts chatting online with a girl posing as a 15-year-old virgin. The decoy, referring to her virginity, says, "I bet you're scared of that." Meat Rocket 8 says, "Actually, I find it quite attractive. I'm honored to be considered the candidate for your first time." Later, as the chat gets more graphic, he asks for her address. Then he gets in his car and drives to our undercover house. Because we're out in the middle of nowhere, this man, like most of the men we greet in Ohio, has to drive a very long distance, almost 2 hours.
We have somebody out front.
A decoy pretending to be the young girl waves him in. The decoy is really a member of an online watchdog group, Perverted Justice, which we hired to do what they normally do: go into chat rooms and set up computer profiles pretending to be young teens who are interested in sex.
I feel like a dumbass, couldn't find your house.
That's okay. It's kind of weird to find just because it's on the corner and stuff, you know?
But instead of being greeted by a child, he meets me.
Do you have a hard time finding the place?
Not at all. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. What can I do for you?
Like most of the men who come in the door, this man agrees to talk. He may think I'm a cop. At first, I don't tell him who I am. And of course, he doesn't know our hidden cameras are rolling. Turns out Meat Rocket 8 is Jay Refner, a computer specialist at a university, a married man with children.
Got a family at home. I love them dearly, You
have kids?
Yes.
How old are your kids?
I have one daughter and two stepsons from my wife's previous marriage.
He says he's not a pedophile. He's here to kick back, relax, and have some fun.
Did you bring anything with you tonight?
Such as?
Condoms?
Yes, I did.
You did. You brought condoms. So you're just going to kick back and chat, and just in case something happened, you brought condoms.
Yeah. I just wanted to talk. I swear to you, if she had...
How were you going to use the condoms in the conversation?
I wasn't going to use them at all.
Well, you got them in your pocket.
Well, yeah, I do have them.
Do balloon tricks with them? Or?
No.
Well, come on. I mean,
I am.
There's only one reason, typically, that people bring condoms to a home, and that's for protection during sex.
Yeah.
Do you like to have a drink, like alcohol?
Meat Rocket 8 starts to sweat so badly as I read from his online chat log that he asks to take his coat off.
I'm honored to be considered the candidate for your first.
Again, playful chat.
Playful chat, it sounds like you're excited about the fact that she's a virgin and you might be the first man to have sex with her. Right?
Sir, I really wasn't going to do that.
Then I tell him I'm with Dateline. And out come the cameras.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
And he heads for the door.
If you have anything else you'd like to say, we'd be happy to hear it.
But no one who comes to this house looking for sex with a minor will get very far.
He's coming around, guys.
Perverted Justice has been sending the sexually explicit online chat logs between its decoys and the potential predators to the Darke County Sheriff's Department. And because it's a crime to show up after soliciting sex online with a minor, Meat Rocket 8 gets arrested.
Sheriff's office, put your hands up!
And taken for questioning, where his story continues.
Do you normally wear condoms while you're having sexual intercourse with your wife?
No.
Okay, why did you buy the condoms today? Because you intended to come here to my county and have sex with a 15-year-old female.
I just don't. I've never done that before.
After the interrogation, he's photographed, fingerprinted, and put behind bars awaiting a hearing before a judge.
Get on the ground!
In Ohio, in order for prosecutors to file the most serious charges, a police officer needs to be involved in the online chat or phone conversation. Since, in this case, Perverted Justice members are the decoys, the Sheriff's Department temporarily deputized the PJ volunteers who were in our house.
Run into his car.
And as you're about to see, our undercover house in Ohio gets pretty crowded. Men showing up at the same time, forcing law enforcement to do double duty.
Hands up! Sheriff's office! Hands up! Hands up! Around.
Coming up, you'll meet those men who are lining up. One's a truck driver and another a manager in the oil industry.
You ask him if he's horny.
Those are normal chat things on...
It's normal chat things with a 14-year-old boy?
To Catch a Predator continues in a moment.
In order to keep the potential sex predators from showing up at our undercover house at the same time, we set up a schedule. Decoys from Perverted Justice make the dates about a half hour apart, but sometimes the men don't arrive on time.
There's also a car parked down below. Is he getting out?
And run into each other. Watch as this potential predator goes in the back door.
Hello?
Hey, come on in. I gotta finish getting changed, okay?
Huh?
I gotta finish getting changed, okay?
Well, I'll watch you.
Hey, how are you?
Would
you do me a favor and have a seat right over there on that stool, please?
Yeah.
While he's being interviewed, another man pulls into our driveway.
You're free to go.
Okay.
So we ask the first man to go upstairs and head out the front door where the Darke County Sheriff's men are waiting for him. You'll hear more about him later. It turns out he's got a frightening criminal past. The sheriff's men quietly arrest him because there's another man around the back of the house about to walk in.
Where you at?
I just whacked the crap out of my toe. I'm gonna go get a Band-Aid before I bleed on the rug.
At the back door, another team of detectives moves in.
Just hang out at the bar for a second?
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back down. If I bleed on the carpet, I'm gonna get shot.
Damn, this is a nice place.
He's a 45-year-old truck driver, Roger Brummett, screen name Roger 4450. He drove more than 90 miles to meet a girl who said she was 13. Online, he asked the girl if she's ever given oral sex. She says yes, and he says, well, if I was there, you could do me.
You have a hard time finding the place, or?
No.
Why don't you have a seat on that stool for me, please? Please, right there. Thanks, sir.
No, I'm leaving.
Well, you got to know a couple things before you go.
He takes off out the back door where detectives are waiting.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Sheriff's office!
As we told you earlier, this undercover operation is set up in a remote town in rural America.
We're a small community. For the most part, everybody knows everybody.
Something happens in this small town that we weren't expecting. Several men from the local area who had been chatting online about sex with decoys posing as young teens suddenly changed their minds about coming to the house. And Detective Mike Burns is convinced there's been a leak.
Do you think some locals might have dodged a bullet because word got out?
I don't have a doubt that happened. We know that we were chatting with people from our area and in close surrounding areas. The chats had been fine up until a certain point. It appeared that they were making arrangements to come and be here and meet, and suddenly nothing.
Since all the local men drop out, everyone else planning to come to our undercover house has to drive long distances. Like this man peeking in our front door. He drove almost 40 miles, more than an hour, to meet a young boy.
Hey, go around back because the door doesn't open right.
He's 43-year-old Kenneth Brinkman, screen name Jungle Mania 20050. Here to meet this boy who said he was 14 and willing to have sex with him. The picture is of a former Dateline staffer when he was about 14. Jungle Mania 20050 is really chatting with a perverted justice decoy. He types, "I cannot believe that I'm actually thinking about blanking your blank." Dell from Perverted Justice is posing as the young boy.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming out here, man.
Okay, cool.
How are you, sir?
Okay.
Why don't you do me a favor and have a seat on the stool right on the other side of the bar there? Please go ahead, have a seat. Did you get yourself all comfortable? Or?
Sure.
Jungle Mania appears to get uncomfortable when I read some of what he said online.
Have you ever asked somebody to blank you off? You talk about...
Oh, I won't deny that there was
You talk about penis size here. You say, you better not be getting me into trouble. That's not good.
It's not, because, I mean, look what's happened here. Even though I haven't done anything with the guy.
So you have that dark hair. Do you have any body hair?
Yeah. I mean, those are normal chat things on...
It's normal chat things with a 14-year-old boy?
The 43-year-old insists he had no intention of having sex with the boy.
You ask him if he's horny, and then say, I wish you were not so far away. What conclusion can I draw from this?
I totally understand.
What do you do for a living?
I manage an audit department for a major oil company for 25 years.
It's a big job.
Absolutely. I'm scared to death.
It's time to tell him what he just walked into.
And I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
So this is going to be on TV.
When our cameras come out, he heads out the door. And you know what happens next.
Hands up! Sheriff's office! Hands up! Hands up! Turn around.
Up next, it may seem hard to believe a fresh-faced Army reservist accused of being a predator.
We could just be naked all day. How does that look, Rob?
Terrible.
When To Catch a Predator returns.
He's coming over here.
The parade of potential internet sex predators continues. This man walking down the driveway is a 27-year-old deli worker, Jeffrey Stacy, screen name Single TX Guy for fun. He's been chatting online about having oral and anal sex with a girl he thinks is 15. He asked the girl if she will be naked when he shows up.
I'm gonna go up and get ready, okay?
Okay.
Wait at the bar for like 5 minutes and then follow me up, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
When I come out and confront him...
Do me a favor and just have a seat right over there on the other side of the bar. How's it going?
All right.
Did you find a place to park okay?
Yeah.
What's your plan for tonight?
Nothing really.
Nothing really.
Like so many others, he says he wasn't doing anything wrong.
You ask her if she's horny.
What's wrong with that?
You ask if she does anal.
It's a question.
I know, but you're asking a question to somebody who identified themselves as an underage girl.
It's just talking. I don't see the internet and real life are two different things. What says on the internet doesn't mean that's what I really think.
Well, that would be easier to believe, Jeff, if you didn't show up here tonight, where you thought a young girl was home alone.
No, I really didn't. Well, I knew she was alone.
Why would you be here?
I mean, I knew she was alone, but that didn't mean much to me.
You're an adult, she's a child.
Okay.
There are laws protecting children.
Okay.
Do you get why teen girls at a certain age cannot give consent legally?
Yes.
When I tell him who I am,
I'm Chris Hansen, and I'm a reporter for Dateline NBC. And we're doing a story on adults who try to meet teens on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
He has nothing more to say.
Sheriff's office, get your hands up, get on the ground!
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, you're early. Let me finish getting ready. Hang out at the bar for a second, and I'm gonna go and get ready. Okay. I'll be upstairs in the first bedroom, okay?
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Took me forever to find this place.
He's 20-year-old Rob Klein, screen name R. Klein 05, an Army reservist. He had a sexually graphic chat with someone he thought was 13 and a virgin. He types, "So you want this old guy doing you in your house, on your bed, or wherever? And, well, if I show up and you're already naked waiting for me on your bed, then it might be hard to be just a friend."
How you doing?
All right.
Why don't you have a seat right there?
As I start to question him, he seems to get flustered and comes up with this.
I was actually just going to stop by here to let her know that I wasn't going to be here because I have to go meet with other people.
Wait a minute. You came by here to tell her that you weren't going to come here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see why that doesn't make sense?
No, that I wasn't going to be here for a while because I'm on my way somewhere else.
But as you'll hear when I read from his chat log, he didn't seem flustered while talking online with a 13-year-old decoy.
So would you like to watch a movie with me with your hand down my pants? Or just no pants? We could just be naked all day. How does that look, Rob?
Terrible.
And when he finds out he's going to be on national television,
I am Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
He reaches over, shakes my hand, and keeps on talking.
I didn't see anything wrong with making a new friend, but then it didn't.
Yeah, but this isn't making a new friend. This is talking about having a 13-year-old girl wait naked for you.
But that's not what I wanted to do, and I thought long and hard about it, and other things come up, and that's not what I wanted to do.
So you had this moral awakening.
Yeah.
And you decided that even after all this and all the explicit chat, you're not going to have sex with this girl.
Right.
Do you see why that is hard for me to believe?
I can see why it's hard to believe. I can see myself why it's hard to believe.
So why should I believe you?
Exactly.
When he gets up to leave, he has no idea what's waiting for him outside.
Sheriff's office, put your hands up in the air now.
So what will these men have to say once they've been read their rights?
Anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And are in police custody.
When we go seize your computer at the residence, is there going to be any pornographic material on there from juveniles or small children?
Coming up, drama in the interrogation room.
Please don't.
A man police label a danger to children. Is he also a danger to himself?
I did something so wrong that I don't even want to be alive.
When To Catch a Predator continues.
Welcome back to our latest undercover investigation into online sex predators. Tonight we've returned to the small town of Greenville, Ohio, and men are coming from miles around to meet a decoy posing as an underage teen at our undercover house. One suspected predator didn't quite find his way to our doorstep, but that didn't stop police from finding him. Here again, Chris Hansen.
But he's moving quickly from the cameras. He's coming around, guys. Come chilling right with me. He's probably
During our three-day investigation, 17 men come to this house hoping to meet a young teen home alone.
Hello?
He's running to his car. Running to his car.
Get on the ground! Get down!
And all 17 are arrested.
You understand that right?
Yes.
There is one potential predator, however, who never makes it to the house.
I'm pretty much the only one here, and...
He's 52-year-old Glenn Mitchell, screen name user 194547, a home health care worker. He's been chatting online with someone posing as a 14-year-old boy in an AOL gay chat room. 5 minutes into the chat, Mitchell says, "You want to meet sometime?" The decoy says he's home alone, and they make a date. Then the man calls to get directions.
You know what? Just call me when you get to Greenville, and I'll direct you in if you want.
Dell from Perverted Justice plays the part of the young boy on the phone.
You guys, swear to God, I'll answer the phone whenever you call. I'm gonna.
And based on his chat log, there's no doubt why this man is driving from Indianapolis almost 2 hours to meet a teen.
I want to do stuff with you, if you want to.
Come over.
I and and kiss guys, tongue kiss at that.
You called and asked for
And he
Jeffrey.
continues his sexual solicitation on the phone.
He wants to engage in sex acts repeatedly. He wants to treat the boy like his main woman. He wants to take care of the boy.
And he thinks you're a 14-year-old boy.
Correct.
And amazingly, Mitchell tells the decoy he's met teenagers before.
I meet a kid from Cincy. He was 16. We and kiss.
Not really interested in that. He admitted on the phone with me that he'd already had sex with a 15-year-old boy. He said that he really enjoyed younger men in general.
But as he gets close to the house, he gets lost.
I'm just curious as to where the hell you are. What exit are you at?
And finds himself driving the wrong way down a highway. When Mitchell gets pulled over by a police officer, he calls Dell,
I really want to see you, dude.
who he thinks is a teenager.
There's a cop following you?
We don't want to spook him.
Frag from Perverted Justice alerts the sheriff's men staked out across the street about what's happening. So the sheriff's men radio the officer making the traffic stop and tell him what's going on, and to let Mitchell go on his way.
So they said this is the softest stop in the world, and he's free? So you tell him to go back? No ticket, no nothing. 70.
But after the encounter with police, Mitchell says he's too scared
Can't you just lose the cop and come tonight? I've got
and decides to head home.
They're going to have to pick him up. There's no way he's coming back tonight.
If he doesn't show, we can at least get him on solicitation. He did
Detective Burns from the Dark County Sheriff's Office puts out an alert. Mitchell is tracked down in Indiana and arrested.
He got within 5 minutes of his home, was recognized,
and charged with attempted unlawful sexual contact with a minor, a felony.
He was actually arrested the same night.
While Mitchell is in an Indiana jail, detectives from Dark County, Ohio, convince a judge, based on Mitchell's online chat and his attempt to drive to our undercover house, to grant them a search warrant. The sheriff's men go to Mitchell's home the next day.
We have found material in the residence that does look like he's been involved in some type of illegal activity with minors.
Mitchell has refused to be extradited to Ohio. So for now, Dark County detectives have not questioned him.
We're going to have to get an extradition warrant, which that's a long process to get done.
She said she's 13 years old. She said her name Katie.
Katie?
In the meantime, though, all the other men arrested in our investigation are facing questioning by detectives.
You normally walk around with condoms in your pocket?
Well, not every day, no.
Okay.
Remember Meat Rocket 8, the family man who said he'd be honored to take the virginity of a 15-year-old? Cops were somewhat surprised at his behavior, given what they found out about his family.
Your mom's a city prosecutor and your dad's a cop. You should probably have a little bit more common sense about things that we're doing out here tonight, okay? Would you agree?
And coupled with the fact that I'm a data communications guy,
Yeah.
He tells the detectives he drove 2.5 hours to watch TV and break the boredom, not have sex with a virgin. And he explains further why he's not that kind of guy.
It is the honest to God's truth. I just don't play around with my wife.
Hold me, I'll be on Channel 4 for a minute. I'll be back.
Remember Jungle Mania 20050? He came to meet a 14-year-old boy. He said online he was thinking about giving him oral sex.
I'll read you some more chat. So do you have a nice
Yeah, but what were we talking about prior to that?
It doesn't matter what you're talking about prior to it. You're asking him something sexually explicit.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Jungle Mania insists he wasn't going to have sex with the boy.
I know what my intentions are.
So do I.
Well,
okay. It's pretty obvious, Ken.
No, it's not.
Yes,
not
it
to
is.
Me. Not I know what I am.
And what is that?
I'm a man with a good heart. The kid was lonely, bored, and that's all it was.
So that's why you asked him how big his penis was.
Did you know the person that you were meeting was 13?
Yes, sir.
This is the man who said online he hoped a 13-year-old virgin would be waiting in her bed naked when he arrived.
When we go seize your computer at the residence, is there going to be any pornographic material on there from juveniles or small children?
As far as I know, no, but...
As far as he knows. But then he says if they do find something, it's because someone else has been using his computer.
Child porn?
There's been one instance where I found some of that and some... I I don't know if it was like bestiality stuff or something, and I had to delete that.
While just about every man interrogated denies he was looking for sex with a minor, this man, screen named Single TX Guy for Fun, seems to admit it.
Tell me what kind of trouble you're in.
Probably jail.
No, what did you do wrong?
I showed up to solicit a minor.
For what?
I guess sex.
Sex.
Then Single TX Guy for Fun says he was really only going to talk with the teenager, so the detective asks him again.
I was just coming to meet him. What happens, happens. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, so there was a possibility that could have happened.
Could have.
When the 27-year-old finds out he's going to jail...
You're going to be taken to Dark County Jail?
Please don't. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
He threatens to kill himself.
I really am just going to slit my throat.
You relax, all right?
No, I'm just going to kill myself. Put me in jail and I'll hang myself. I don't care. I did something so wrong that I don't even want to be alive.
When the detective takes off the handcuffs so the man can sign his statement, he grabs the pen and makes a half-hearted attempt to stab himself.
Put his hand behind your back.
You better behave, all right?
Was it a threat so that we would back off, so that we would feel sorry for him, so that we wouldn't come down on him as hard? I don't know what it was.
What's clear, says the detective, is that this man and the others like him have backed themselves into a corner and are looking for a way out.
He's here.
And you're about to hear from a man who's backed himself into a very dark corner.
Chris has him.
He's the most frightening predator caught in this investigation.
I gotta finish getting changed, Kat.
Well, I'll watch it.
Coming up, an admitted child abuser whom police have been watching.
I was after him for a year and a half. But what if he does this to some other child?
Now he walks through our door to catch a predator continues in a moment.
So we're facing a judge again on Thursday, March 3rd for final disposition hearing and sexual predator designation. Wow.
Frag from Perverted Justice has just learned something astonishing about the next man heading for our house. He's just been convicted of attempting to solicit sex with a child.
So, right before he has to go into jail next Thursday, he wants to come over and have sex with another minor, or try.
He's talking about Kevin Westerbeck, the man with the bird on his head. Ironically, his screen name is changed for the better 2006, a budget analyst for the military. He's been chatting with someone posing as a 13-year-old virgin, Corinne Destiny Forever.
Would you get naked?
Could we turn up the heat so I don't get cold?
Sure.
Laugh out loud. Cool.
Have sex?
Would it be fun?
Of course.
He asks the girl if he can stay the night, but as the online chat progresses, he worries that this is a setup. He asks the girl if she's a cop. Corinne Destiny Forever, one of many Perverted Justice members around the country working during this investigation, says, no way. Later in the chat, under a different screen name, Kevin West, he admits what we already know about him.
I did something stupid less than a year ago.
So?
I went to court Friday about it.
What you do?
My attorney and I plea bargained. This next Thursday, I go to jail for 11 months. I got busted soliciting.
Amazingly, he was admitting to someone he thinks is a child that he was arrested for doing exactly the same thing he's doing with her.
That's our boy. Copy.
Online, he tells the girl he's 27, but the man walking down our driveway is really 47.
Hey, come on in. I gotta finish getting changed, Kat.
Huh?
I gotta finish getting changed, Kat.
Well, I'll watch it.
But he won't get the chance to watch our decoy finish getting dressed. Instead, he'll meet me.
Hey, how are you? Could you do me a favor and have a seat right over there on that stool, please?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fine.
Good, please have a seat.
It takes him a second to get on the stool because he's under 5 feet tall.
Who asked you to come over exactly? Who asked you to come over?
Destiny?
Destiny. How did you meet Destiny?
On the computer, she said hi and stuff.
Change for the Better 2006 tells me he was just coming over to say hi to the 13-year-old.
Okay.
And that he wasn't the one talking about sex, the girl was.
She says, I like kissing. You say, would you get naked? I just don't want to get cold, she says. You say, have sex? Now, a moment ago, you told me this wasn't a sexually oriented conversation.
I was just talking.
Just talking. It would be fun, then, okay? You say, then, I'm big. She says, really? Yeah, how? Then you give the dimension of your penis. That's not sexual?
Just BS talk.
Just BS talk.
To me it was.
As he continues to insist he had no plans for sex after all, he says he didn't bring condoms. But we were curious about something else. While he was walking in our house, our camera spotted a bag in his car.
What's in the black bag that's out in your car?
It's my briefcase.
Your briefcase?
Correct.
And what's in it?
Date, time keeper, my Bible.
Your Bible?
Yes.
You're a religious fellow, are you?
Yes, I am.
Like several other men we've met here in rural Ohio, Westerbeck talks about God.
What makes you so religious?
Because I have a faith in God.
Didn't your faith in God suggest to you that you shouldn't come over here to hang out with a 13-year-old girl after a sexually charged conversation on the internet?
That's why I turned around the first time, and then she called me. I thought, well, I'll just go over there, say hi, and be done with it, and go on home.
But Change for the Better 2006 does admit to me he's been caught trying to meet a teen for sex before.
What did they say you did?
They said I came out to meet some girl, I guess.
So let me get this straight. You were accused of doing the very same thing that you're out doing tonight.
I had no intention of this.
You pleaded guilty to solicitation of a minor for sex.
It was a plea.
You pleaded guilty.
Correct.
And you got sentenced for that plea, correct?
That's correct.
11 months.
Correct.
And as we told you earlier, he's already scheduled to begin serving that time. In fact, he's supposed to report to the jail in 4 days.
I'm stupid. I'm weak. It's just this. I have no intentions of having sex with her.
Then Westerbeck admits he's heard about Dateline's investigations.
Did you ever see Dateline NBC?
Well, I know of it, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever see any of our stories on computer predators?
Oh, familiar with them.
You are?
Yes.
Well, this is one of them.
But as we told you before, it gets crowded outside our undercover house. Remember this man, the truck driver Roger Brummett? He showed up while Westerbeck was inside. So we send Westerbeck out the front door, where he's arrested.
I want you to take a seat in that chair over there.
And taken in for questioning.
I understand you're going to prison already for the same charge, is that correct?
That's correct.
How much time do you have?
11 months.
11 months, and when do you go to prison?
Thursday.
Thursday?
The detectives asked Westerbeck why he admitted to the decoy that he was going to jail. Was he trying to get her sympathy and have one last sexual encounter before being locked up?
Not one for the road?
No.
You understand what I mean by that?
I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. And that was not my intent. I learned my lesson the first time.
Obviously not.
No.
Right? Obviously not.
Well, I wasn't coming
You're
in
chatting
different.
with the 13-year-old female about your penis size on the internet, and you drove about, an hour and a half to get here to meet a 13-year-old female in the middle of the night who you knew by looking at the chats her parents weren't home. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Straight on through to the mat on the wall.
After the interrogation is over, he's taken to the jail and is processed just like all the others.
Right there.
Unbelievably, we find out later there's even more to Westerbeck's criminal past. And not just for soliciting sex with a minor.
What's your address right now?
But for rape. And who was his victim? A young female relative.
She was staying with him for the weekend that he had improperly touched her in a way that would amount to rape under Ohio law.
Sergeant David Atkins of the New Lebanon, Ohio Police Department has been investigating Westerbeck for the last year and a half. He says the sexual abuse happened when the girl was visiting Westerbeck. Her exact age at the time is not clear, but we know she was younger than 13.
It was late at night. There was a thunderstorm. She was scared of the storm, so she went to his room because she wanted the comfort of an adult. And ultimately, he pretty much violated that trust and confidence that he had.
Step right over this, officer.
Westerbeck admitted he sexually abused the young girl to a counselor, saying he had performed oral sex on her and that she had touched his penis while they were in bed together. But it took more than a year battling in court for Sergeant Atkins to obtain those records.
The whole time that I'm dealing with waiting for these records and not able to charge him, I'm thinking to myself, what if he does this to some other child?
It's attempted unlawful sexual conduct with a minor.
And knowing Westerbeck was in fact caught soliciting other minors, he can't help wondering if there are other victims out there.
I would say the chances are slim that he's only done this 2 times. Obviously, there's something he can't control there. I mean, he knew for a fact that I was after him for a year and a half.
Since he was caught in our investigation, he has spent a lot of time in court. Just 4 days after the sting, he went before a judge in the first case involving the solicitation charge to determine his status as a sex offender.
I'm going to review Exhibit 3 before I rule on this one.
The judge was informed that Westerbeck was caught in our sting.
I am required in this hearing to make a determination as to whether or not I believe, based upon the facts presented, the defendant will commit future sex offenses. In this case, you've made it very clear, Mr. Westerbeck, as to whether or not you'll commit future offenses. This court will make a finding, and I make this finding beyond a reasonable doubt, that you are likely to commit future crimes based upon the evidence before the court today. With that determination, the court will make a finding that you are a sexual predator.
And last week, he pleaded guilty to raping the young family relative, a child under the age of 13. Westerbeck, like all the other men caught in our investigation, will appear before a judge to answer the charge of attempted unlawful sexual conduct with a minor here in Darke County, Ohio.
Coming up, have any of these men learned their lesson? What will it take to stop them?
These guys need to say and understand that they have the potential to harm a child.
Also, a look at what happens in our next investigation.
You're sitting here in this house naked.
When To Catch a Predator continues. Go ahead and be seated.
It's Monday morning in Greenville, Ohio's criminal court.
You attempted to engage in sexual conduct with a person who was 13 years of age or older.
Our investigation has concluded. Now we check on the 17 men arrested after they left our undercover house. They've been sitting in jail over the weekend waiting for a judge to set bail.
Mr. Wade, they'll set bail at $7,500 cash surety of property.
And are almost unrecognizable in their prison stripes. Here's the family man who made plans online to take the virginity of a 15-year-old.
Did you bring anything with you tonight?
Such as?
Condoms?
Yes, I did.
His mother, a prosecutor from another county, is representing him.
He has absolutely no failures to appear whatsoever in any court anywhere.
So we'll set bail at $2,500 cash surety of property.
This is the man who made a half-hearted attempt to stab himself with a pen. He made plans online for sex with a decoy posing as a 15-year-old.
You ask her if she's horny.
What's wrong with that?
You ask if she does anal.
It's a question.
I'll set $7,500 cash surety of property. And
the 6th grade teacher who admitted he has a problem.
You've actually seen our previous programs on computer predators.
I didn't think I was a predator.
In Ohio, there's also a limitation that you can't live within 1,000 feet of school. Let's set bail at $2,500 cash surety of property.
And the repeat offender.
I'm stupid. I'm weak. I have no intentions of having sex with her. In respect to the courts, I'd ask for an OR because I'm going to jail on Thursday anyway.
I think I'll ensure that you make it back to Judge Wolliver's court in Springfield. I'll set bail at $100,000 cash surety of property.
Since this first court appearance, a grand jury has indicted all 17 men and charged them with attempting unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. All pleaded not guilty, except this man.
No. Have you contacted a lawyer?
No.
Do you plan to do so?
No.
Alonzo Wade pleaded no contest. He was found guilty and is awaiting sentencing. For many of these men, the trip from chatting about sex online to shuffling through the criminal justice system has been a long one.
A lot of thinking and planning goes into doing something like this.
Robert Weiss is the clinical director of a sexual addiction treatment center in Los Angeles. He explains the thought process through the eyes of a predator.
I didn't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to do this today. I woke up 5 months ago or 5 years ago and said, boy, this looks kind of good to me, and I evolved down a road of eventually landing at that door.
Where are you?
But Weiss says not all these potential predators are alike. Some can be treated and some cannot. The first step for the kind of men caught in our investigation, Weiss says, is to admit they are sex offenders, and that's sometimes a tall order.
These guys need to say and understand that they have the potential to harm a child.
Weiss has taken a particular interest in our investigations because his clinic is now treating some of the men caught in our last investigation.
It was interesting watching the show and seeing guy after guy say, I'm stupid, I'm so stupid, I'm an idiot. Well, they feel stupid. They feel like idiots. But an idiot would not be able to carry out that degree of sophisticated planning and acting out. None of them are idiots, and that's the good news, because in treatment, they can be challenged, their thinking can be challenged.
For now, the fate of those men caught in our Ohio investigation is in the court's hands.
They will be in recess. Thank you very much.
But there are other sex predators in other states who are still on the loose.
Took a hard look.
Florida is a state with one of the highest numbers of registered sex offenders. In our next investigation, we'll head south, where we'll set up another undercover house. The setting for some very strange goings-on. It's almost like we've entered a suspected cyber predator twilight zone.
You want to explain yourself?
This man, for instance, he doesn't have any clothes on.
Chocolate chip's my favorite.
All this guy can talk about is the cookies left on the counter.
Can I get you a glass of milk to go along with those cookies?
Sure.
This man improvises a disguise, but keeps right on talking.
Ain't nothing going on here, dude. Nothing funny going on here.
And while he's chatting through his shirt, his sister's waiting outside in the car.
Is this your brother?
Yeah.
We brought him here so he could have sex with a 13-year-old.
13?
But most shocking of all our Florida suspects is this man, a 42-year-old father who's expecting to meet an underage boy at our house.
Oh, no. He's got his child with him.
None of us can believe that he's brought along his own 5-year-old son.
And since you have your child here, I'm not going to pursue this. I think it'd be best if you just went ahead and left.
Yeah, I agree.
All kinds of men, all walks of life, and they all have an excuse.
I was just coming down because she said she wanted to watch a movie, and that was it.
You'll see police make arrest after arrest after arrest.
Please give me my son, please.
Just wait till you hear their stories.
Join us for our next To Catch a Predator investigation 1 week from tonight at 9, 8 Central. And a reminder for parents, you'll find more information on what you can do to protect your children from internet predators on our website. The address is dateline.msnbc.com.
Coming up on Dateline Saturday night, in wide open country, a story of buried secrets. A 14-year-old boy kills his entire family at a ranch belonging to TV newsman Sam Donaldson. The teen says he snapped after years of being abused by his father.
She was laying there completely naked. My dad striked up the torch and told me that I was going to have sex with Treon.
The prosecution says that abuse never happened.
I think his parents were doing the best that they could to raise a very difficult child.
What really happened on that ranch? Dark secrets in the land of high noon. And that's all for this edition of Dateline Wednesday. I'm Ann Curry.
And I'm Stone Phillips. We'll see you again for Dateline Saturday night at 8, 7 Central. For all of us at NBC News, good night.